ultimately, what I feel contemplating death, being present for death, gives me glimpses into my natural state and it awakens me. It's like an agent of awakening to the sacred, to the ineffable. And that's really like, that's my secret. For me, that's what I'm doing. That's the diamond in the center of what I'm doing in my work, in my life, but also of my offerings too. And what I hope will be gleaned through my presence and guidance and holding. And yeah, I want that for myself. I want that for everyone.
Investigating the wonder of consciousness, the nature of mind, the miracle of the body. We'll talk with elders, lineage holders, seekers, scholars, and practitioners from diverse wisdom traditions to explore the precious convergence of the being, the psyche, and life itself, and how we can use the alchemy inherent to that meeting point for transformation. I'm Laura Karate, and this is the delicate business of being human. Courting the mystery, weaving the story, and bringing it all back home to the body. So welcome back, everyone. And today I have a dear friend, Jennifer Muir, with us. And Jennifer is a death doula. She's a sound healing practitioner. She is a facilitator of grief and contemplative death circles and a grief tender. And Jennifer, thank you so much for being here with us today, taking the time, giving us your energy.
Thank you. It's nice to be here with you.
Yeah, it's great. So we're here to talk about some, relatively heavy, relatively heavy things. And I
Mhm.
think that, I think it's great. I think it's a great thing for us to do, to take time to look where a lot of times we don't like to look. And I think I'd love to start by just asking you, because I think a lot of people will have the question, what is a death doula? What does a death doula do? We know what a birth doula is, more or less. Maybe people don't even know what a birth doula does. But what is that role? Can you speak a little bit about it?
Yeah, sure. So a doula, and I think this includes a birth doula, is a non-clinical, just like very, very straightforward, a non-clinical, non-medical presence.
Mm,
In as far as my work with death, so I work in concert with maybe hospice care workers, a hospice nurse, a doctor that oversees any. Usually there's not intervention at the point if a patient is receiving hospice care, but a nurse, a social worker, whatever other family or community members are there. And I'm there as presence, really meeting what arises, what needs arise, both with the person who's navigating their dying and the family members.
mm.
A presence that's not there to fix, to change, to intervene in any way unless asked very specifically.
So you are a non-clinical presence. And
Mhm.
what do you find is generally requested of you, asked of you, needed of you in these moments where a person is making the transition to death?
So I can be asked for my services from any point. Somebody may just begin to be thinking about their dying. Maybe they've been given a diagnosis, maybe not. And so maybe it's planning around, like,
Mm.
practical, getting affairs in order. So anything from planning to I've done a lot of sort of regularly scheduled being with. I feel like in my experience, it's a lot of listening, a lot
Mm.
of being open, a lot of knowing how to ask questions so a person can go deep into their own process. And my questions are agents of self discovery for the person that I'm spending time with.
Can you give an example of like what kind of question you might ask?
Well, I'll give an example from yesterday. Actually, I was
Perfect.
I was with a woman that I caregive in a capacity more as caregiver, less as death doula, but we
Mhm.
navigate a lot of area together. So she's bedbound. She has a diagnosis of Parkinson's. And I shouldn't say she's not totally bedbound. She can get up and go to the bathroom. She takes a little tour out into the living room and back, but primarily she spends, 99.5% of her days and nights in bed. So yesterday, when I was with her, she was very sleepy, and this can happen. Um, she was sleepier than usual, falling asleep while she was eating. This is not
Mm.
a regular thing. And I saw her really fighting to stay awake. And so she kind of woke herself up out of her very sleepy, very heavy and droopy state of being. She woke herself up and was like, I'm going to walk into the living room, and took a little tour into the living room. And we sat there and looked out the window together for a while and came back into the bedroom. And she got back into bed and she said, I just can't seem to find myself in space.
Mm.
And so I ask more questions. But she does have a hard time. I've worked with several people that are not as verbal as they once were. The Parkinson's causes a neurological delay. That's the brain
Mm.
and the speech are a little disconnected, so things don't come as readily. So I don't want to be too pressuring, but I ask, what is that like? So
Mm.
there's an opening. That's profound. I can
Yes.
find myself in space. So what is that? What is that like? What does that feel like? What does that feel like in your body? What is that? What are your feelings about that? And so she shared with me, and we went into what I felt was very touching realization for, and I don't know where she's been, but for me being with her quite a bit, it's the first time she's said, I feel like I'm slipping away and I don't
Mm.
have time. So rather than being like, well, maybe just like feel your butt on the bed and breathe and feel the ground. Like let her be in this. I feel untethered and disorienting, and it's weird and bizarre, which she expressed. So it's that kind of thing, like helping people to, when they express something that feels that like sense of this is charged, more information here. There's something here for us to explore deeper. If that answers your question, that's just a very immediate example that I have from yesterday.
Yeah. And I mean, all of it, the totality of it, one has to, one being me sitting on the outside, not being in this practice, has to go, wow, you have to really be in quite a space to be able to sit with that. Because
Mhm.
I think what often happens to those who are surrounding a person who is transitioning toward their death is it scares the shit out of them, right? And they go, oh my God, like, what would that be like to not be able to find yourself in space? Oh my God. And and then we do what we do, which is to try to fix it. Right? Like, okay, so wait, can I make you feel more comfortable? Or can I, like, hey, smell this or taste this? Or I don't know. So what I'm noticing as as a thought is like, wow, you have to be really okay with this. this transition. You have to be really okay with this transition. And that's no small ask,
Yeah.
right?
And you have to be okay with letting it be. Speaking of groundlessness, like just very, very spacious and open and sometimes very quiet. And then
Yeah.
it's being with what was just said, what was just expressed deeply, this deep truth. I don't want to jump ahead and I want to continue answering your question. So it's about presence for me. It's about cultivating real presence in myself and with whoever I'm accompanying. And then this translates into the active dying stage. You know, a death doula will
Mm.
also sit vigil, is what it's called, during active. So if you're speaking to somebody about their death and how they feel like they're slipping away and untethered and how bizarre it is that they're really letting go, you know,
Yeah.
they're really beginning to let go when it comes time, if you're fortunate enough to, which it doesn't happen often, like the average stay at hospice is 4 days or something. So there's not usually, in my experience, in this our Western culture, a lot of opportunity to do to have these explorations in,
Yes.
in our this like long over time exploring what is it going to be like? What is it
Mm.
like now as I'm beginning to let go? So it's this, that area, sort of amorphous before, and then there's the planning,
Hmm.
very practical, and then there's the active dying and the sitting vigil in presence, where there's nothing you can do to make
Yeah.
it different or better or easier. Mhm.
Yeah. And that is, I mean, yeah, it is such a relating with what is. It's
Mhm.
like it takes the time that it takes the course that it does what it wants. I'm remembering the only person that I was close with in my life that passed was my grandmother. And it seems like it took forever. Like, we're like, oh, she's any minute now. And that was like 10 years. And it was just like, it just wasn't going. And there isn't any timing to these things. Like
Right.
it's not,
Yeah.
it's out of normal consciousness, which is what's so beautiful about it. And I think it's like the realest thing, like birth as well. This like there's nothing else but this. There's no way to get to more of a core of a thing than this, right? So I have a lot more questions, but I think what comes up for me or what comes into my head is what made you feel, think, understand that this was a service you could provide?
Mhm. You know, this is something I've pondered. It's a calling, like it's an undeniable calling. The why or, how or what, it's not so palpably present for me or clear even.
Yes.
Become clear working in this capacity is that it's a need that I have for facing my own death. And also a need that I have, a deep need to learn to be present.
Yeah.
And what's beautiful and been so beautiful, I did a training over 9 months with the Zen Center for Contemplative Care just about this. Like presence is, sure, it's being present for another person, but it's being present with yourself kind of first. And so,
Totally.
yeah. So that was desperately needed in my life. I didn't learn presence. And then I do think I have a natural way of being open, in openness that people respond to and feel very comfortable in my presence. So it's that sort of that reciprocity
Mm.
of somebody feeling comfortable in my presence, then sort of calling forth the presence within. And then this like generosity of presence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you mentioned this training that you did.
Mhm.
How does one train? What does that even look like? Is it meditation or is it hands-on or is it both?
It's both. Yes. So this training in particular was over 9 months. It's an amazing program. It's foundations in contemplative care. Everyone from pediatricians to therapists to chaplains felt called to do this training. And we really worked with being extremely self aware, and it was super uncomfortable. It involved meditation, a lot of inquiry, self inquiry exercises, a lot of dyads, sitting there staring at one another for, you know, 10 minutes, being
Yeah.
with being with yourself as you're like sweating and just noticing really with a lot of self honesty what's arising and being with what's arising
Yeah.
and with as much equanimity as you can muster, which takes a lot of practice. And then it also did include a practicum portion, which
Mm.
I interned at a hospice residence in Orange County. Yeah,
Mm.
and sat with a
Wow.
with hospice patients.
Mhm. And I guess the question also that comes to me is it it's it's not a question that's really the question I'm asking, because I can't really put the words around it properly. But what is this portal for you? Like this portal, this transition space
Mhm,
from living to dying,
mhm,
and this space that we're calling death,
mhm,
right? That we familiarize ourselves with it,
mhm,
theoretically at least, but
mhm,
that we don't know in intimacy. And so it's like there's this being that's like with us here in life,
mhm,
and then they start to transition and then they go some other place.
mhm,
What is that
mm.
space for you in your understanding or in your being? Or I don't, yeah.
I think it's so multi-dimensional and multifaceted, this question. You touched on it a little while back. You said that it's real. I have noticed a pattern in my life where I put myself, whether it's been in work that I've done or just sort of in my life, has been in environments that feel very authentic to me.
Mm.
And sometimes that's really messy and ugly.
Yeah.
You know, when
That
people,
seems to be the trade-off, you know?
when people's filters are gone, it's like, wow, it's a free for all.
Yeah.
So, but I think I long for that space.
Mm.
So I long for what's real and what's true. And in my meandering life path, it's brought me to maybe what's most real and true and to
Yeah.
the edge. I've always been a seeker. I've always had questions. So there's something very natural about me landing in this place of, and it's so mysterious, yet
Mm.
the field is so mysterious, yet so charged and palpable with such beauty, and not always. Sometimes it's really horrifying, you
Yeah.
know, reflecting on somebody I accompanied before I had the calling to be with dying, a mental health client of mine who was literally in his active dying, clawing,
Mm.
trying to claw his way out of dying is how I experienced it.
Mhm. Mhm.
So yes, I think it's what's real and true in this something piercing, like piercing into to something that's for me sacred,
Yeah.
for me sacred. And then what's sacred? It's like kind of all of it, over time that's what I've come to. It's not just the beautiful that's sacred. So
I feel like that's the word, isn't it? Sacred.
mhm,
And the realness is what contributes to the sanctity. It's like the truth of it, the thisness of it. It doesn't have veils, right? Because as one thing I didn't mention is that Jennifer is a Buddhist practitioner for many years. And I think that spiritual practitioners, we're always trying to get behind the veil and get behind the veil and get behind the veil and like what's behind. And these moments that are so raw in their beauty, in their horror, in their all of it are like they're yeah, they're more true and they point to something else
Mhm.
about the human condition, about
Mm.
what it is to be a person, right? Because we can't know what it is to be a person without putting death in the equation.
You can't, really can't.
You can't. People are really trying, though.
They're really trying.
It's
They're trying.
cute. I mean, are
Yeah.
you afraid of death?
Yeah. I think I said for a while no. But even sitting with that woman yesterday, like, what is it like to feel like I've had moments where I felt like I was slipping away. It's
Yeah.
not pleasant. So I kind of like very recently am like, yes, I have fear. I depends on what time of day you ask me, too. I really just honestly waffle even in and being a Buddhist practitioner. Sometimes I'm like, what? What is it? You know, what is it? And other times my mind opens and I experience exactly what it is. So
Yeah.
these moments of not knowing, yeah, it's funny you asked me right now because I think yesterday I might have said I'm only afraid of dying in relation to my daughter, leaving my daughter. So you got a different answer.
And
You're
that's also real, huh? Like that way that we don't. It's funny because the terrifying statement was that, right? That I can't find myself. And
mm,
like actually we can't find ourselves
mm-mm,
really.
mm-mm.
Not when it's real. Like,
No,
you know what I mean? There's always this in breath, out breath. There's always this changing reality, whatever it is that we think that we're so clear on. I'm a Buddhist practitioner or whatever the thing is.
mhm.
There are moments where that thing just like, like a little helium balloon that you let go and it's nowhere to be found.
Yeah,
That
no ground.
no ground. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things about death is or contemplating death. Let's change that sentence.
Mhm.
One of the most beautiful things about contemplating death is it gives you this opportunity to look at the inevitable ungrounding of everything, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. And that's what my spiritual practice points to. So contemplating death and working with death is it's a big part of the Buddhist tradition, contemplating,
Yes.
daily contemplation of death. Also, to answer your question, it's a spiritual practice,
Yeah.
being with death. It's a spiritual practice in calling an invitation to go towards what scares you the most, which is like an
Mm.
utter, complete letting go of everything, of everything. You think you know the very ground you stand on, the very identity it's the
Mhm.
body, sure, but it's all the things that you value and cherish. And yeah,
And you and I were talking about this recently, how like aging, like the thing was well designed because aging really is giving you, it's like the threads start to come undone. Oh, I'm young and cute. Wait, no, I'm not. Oh, I am, full of energy. Wait, no, I'm not. I'm, like all of these stories that you have about your limited identity start to go as you start to age. And the more you let yourself go into that kind of aging portal, the more they also unravel.
yeah,
And death isn't a moment
yeah.
only, it's like interwoven through the whole fabric of life.
Mhm.
And it's so fascinating how reticent we are to look at it at all, like in any capacity.
Yeah, because we're so self-clinging.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we want that grounding and safety, and the paradox is, that I am blessed to have a taste of periodically is like the true freedom is found in the letting go, which I really believe about dying. I really believe that to be true, that it can be that. And I want it to be that for me.
Yeah.
I desire that. And I let go of my desire too.
Maybe not today. You can you can hold on to it for today.
Thank you.
But I mean, yeah, that's the thing. Is like we're just constantly looking at the different ways that we're negotiating. We're like, okay, I can die, but as long as I'm like this, you
Right,
know?
right, right.
How do you feel like these things, these subjects, we spoke about death and we spoke also about grief and you holding this space of grief. How do you feel those two as being related? Or
Death.
do you feel those two as being related, death and grief?
Uh-huh. I mean, I do for sure. I do in my own life experience, which really had a huge hand in bringing me and leading me where I am.
I was just going to say, would you say that that was the death of your husband?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Is there anything you'd like to share about that that you felt helped you to
Uh-huh.
realize this purpose or be open to this possibility?
Hmm. So my husband died when, uh, gosh, almost 17 years ago, when my
Mhm.
daughter Adelaide was a baby, 6 months old. And he was abroad. He was in England and died suddenly. So I wasn't there for his dying. I was
Mm.
as far away as you can be for his dying.
Right.
It was very it was very hard for me to wrap my head around that he
Mm.
was dead. Very hard. That sudden death and a baby and I chose not to see his body. I could have.
Mm.
I wish I would have in retrospect.
That's so interesting because that surprises me knowing you. Was
Well,
there
was there a reason?
yeah.
I was afraid.
Yeah.
And the other thing too, and just to get like into the nitty-gritty of it. So Ben died of a sudden heroin overdose.
Mhm.
And so when they do all of the autopsy and whatnot, and they take blood, they found he tested positive for hepatitis C. And so the
Mm.
plan was, oh, we have people that wash the body and we can embalm him to preserve his body, which I don't know if I would be into now anyway. But because he tested positive for hepatitis C, they could no longer wash his body.
Mhm.
That brings up a lot of emotion. And they couldn't,
What is it about that that brings up a lot of emotion?
because I've had the honor and privilege of washing someone's body and tending to somebody's body. And it's every dead body deserves that. Every person,
Yes.
every loved one deserves, and not everybody's going to be up for it, but deserves the opportunity to tend to the body of their loved.
Yes.
There's a lot of stigma around the way he died and
Yes.
him having hepatitis C, and now he also can't be embalmed. So getting his body flown from London to New York, arriving maybe 4 or 5 days later, I really didn't
Mhm.
see his decomposing body.
Mm.
And yeah, but I think it's important actually, if I would be so brazen as to give my opinion on, I think the opportunity to see a dead body is really important, to be able to wrap your heart and mind around the fact that this person is gone.
Do you feel like it took you longer to realize that he was gone because you didn't see it?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that makes total sense.
Yeah. Yeah. In my dreams, he still is periodically still alive, which I think can happen, but yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Mhm.
And how was it for you to receive that news? Because you had this baby. You had this little baby, you had this life, and
Mhm.
then suddenly everything
Yeah.
kind of fell in on itself.
Yeah, it was an utter shock. I for sure went into shock, but I was also kind of like shot out of my body into like
Mm.
different state of being. And I hear people talk about this in an experience of grief, this profound kind of grace arrived. So
Mm.
it was so shocking to my system. And then I really felt like I was like shot out of my body into for a good year. I actually remember when I came back down. I was
Wow.
I was able to function, but I was not able to function in the way that I did previously, which was like reading Us magazine and watching shows and, caring what I looked like and then circling back to like, why am I with death? I had no time or space
Mm.
for small talk, artificiality, pretense. Like, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because shit got real
This-
really fast.
It became a different language to me, like kind of
Mm.
the drama, gossip, and the like. I couldn't give a shit anymore.
Mm.
I guess
Mm.
I cared about my daughter. She's probably largely the generator of this grace, just her beingness, because she was so happy, so just here and present and lovely and good natured and pure and alive.
Mm.
Yeah, it was really wild to have that.
What a crazy juxtaposition. Yeah, what a crazy, like,
Mhm,
this sudden ripping of this being out of your life, and then this other creature here,
mhm.
so full of life.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
My heart was it was like the first time I was like, "Oh my god, the human heart and what it can
Mm.
hold."
Wow.
And that's been a big study for me.
Mm.
Like, what the simultaneousness of the grief and the joy, the love and the loss, and yeah, it blew my mind. It was like I didn't know that space in any way, shape, or form before the death of my husband.
Mm. Mm. And obviously, if Adelaide hadn't been there, it would have been a completely different experience.
Mhm.
It was like, but that life plus,
Yeah,
life plus made it really super different.
yeah.
And how did you find your way through that grief?
I think it was largely the instincts, like maternal instincts
Mm.
kicking in. I cried all the time.
Mm.
Yeah. I longed for that's probably why I do this work. I longed for someone to tell the story to kind of over and
Mm.
over again, and I
Mhm.
I didn't have that. I just didn't have that. Whether it was that others didn't know how to show up or I didn't know how to share, but little of both.
Or a little of both. Do you
Mm.
feel like that's a really important piece in healing grief? Healing is not the right word. I want to take that word out. In tending grief,
Yeah.
that we tell the story of what happened.
Yes. With witness in community, like in the Jewish tradition, the sitting Shiva for a week, people come and they just sit and bring food and talk and tell stories and share in this because it's a community loss, a familial loss, but it ends up in our culture feeling very, very isolating. And I think
Very
a lot of
isolated.
people can relate with that feeling.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's so uncomfortable for people. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Like, they don't even, it's like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry," and like, it's like they wanna get rid of your feeling for you, and they want to just get away from it, this any trace of grief,
Yeah.
and that makes it so hard. I mean, it's just that we don't know. We just don't know what to do, but this makes it so hard, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so now, when you work with that, is that one of the tools that you use? The
Uh,
telling of the story?
yes. We had a solstice circle December of an evening solstice stories of sorrow and loss.
Hmm.
And that's what we did. We told stories. We lit candles and we listened. We received one another and we bared our souls, and it was really beautiful. And we're new at this, many of us, but I want to help create a culture of this.
Yeah.
We reclaim something from our ancestry where we did not grieve in our huts alone. We were in it together. It's what we've done for all of human history outside of the last couple 100 years or so,
Yeah.
100 maybe, yeah.
Yeah. And so, in your feeling, at least, you mostly had to go through that passage without the kind of support that you would have
Mhm.
dreamt for yourself, or probably at that point, not even. Because I think we don't even know that we're missing that. Like, we don't even know what would be helpful, like to tell the story. Why would I tell the story? It's a sad story, or like, we don't even, but now it seems, right, that it's like you went through that
Mhm.
without.
Yeah.
And so you said that you felt like that kind of veered your life path in a certain way. Do you feel like the work that you're doing with the death transition as well is coming from some sort of spark that was awakened?
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. And I think again, it's maybe even like a wanting to complete something that was incomplete.
Mm,
And I'll tell a story that's really kind of crazy when I think of it. My first
please.
death doula client was this beautiful couple. The wife reached out to me and asked me to come support her and her husband who was dying. He was really completely bedbound, could not get up at all. And I was with him for several months, maybe 3 or 4 months, and just spent a lot of quiet time with him, reading poetry. He had swelling on the brain, so it was hard for him to string together a sentence. I had a scheduled visit with him. I got there. His wife met me at the door and said, Paul just died. 5 minutes, maybe. 5 minutes.
Wow.
He aspirated she was feeding him cake and he
Mm,
aspirated and choked. And she held his hand and just said, it's okay. It's okay. As he couldn't breathe. But she had that presence of being to hold his hand after he's been in bed for 2 years and let him go.
wow.
So beautiful. So he died on June 27th, the day that Ben died.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I went in, and there was his body, and I chanted the Heart Sutra. We sat with him and just quiet, just the two of us, and then we got water together and herbs, and we washed his body. And I didn't realize as this was happening what day it was. I knew when in the morning
Right.
when I woke up, but it wasn't connecting. So to be able to attend this his it was I don't even have like I can't believe that's a thing that happened. But yeah, that was a sign for me, like undeniable.
Yeah.
To keep going because as we all have doubt. I don't know, am I is this the thing, just keep going. And I think I reflect on it. That gift that I received in his dying, and that it's like that. It's like that. It can be like that too.
That's so beautiful. And it also, I find it really important and meaningful you get emotional because I think we have an idea about those who take care of people,
Mm,
especially that they have to be kind of stoic and they're just like, okay, let's get it done. And, like they're like not moved
mm,
by the utter, they're not moved by it. They're not touched by it.
mhm.
And I don't think that's really a prerequisite. I think exactly the opposite. I think it's like necessary for
Yeah,
it to move you, you know?
for sure. For sure. Yes. The invitation is to be with, and if, crying with someone is like who doesn't love to be cried with?
Yeah, totally.
Like, you don't wanna laugh alone, you don't wanna cry alone, like, you want
Yeah,
somebody to be with you in it, and
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, and you don't wanna be overtaken and unable to be present, but yeah, yeah.
But I just think it's a different way of looking at presence,
Ah,
right? Because I think we often have like the word equanimous
mm,
means I'm there and it's like whatever happens, it doesn't really touch me and it's fine. But
right.
that's not really it, is it?
Not
Right?
that
Like that's
knowing how equanimity and emotion you can be equanimous in if you're letting what wants to arise in the moment, you know, without grasping an attachment, letting it be in its free display. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm. Why do you think we're so terrified of it? Of
Mhm.
all of it, of the grief, of the passage, of the other side, of whatever. Why do
Mm.
you think that it's like so? I mean, I think it's the taboo. We think sex is a big taboo. It's nothing close to death. Death is the one that it's like, even, you ask an elder parent, would you like to talk about the care that you might want to receive? And they're like, no, I don't want to talk about death. And you're like, well, when do you think we're going to do that? Right. But
Yeah.
that's the normal standard response, is like stiff upper lip. And why do you think this is? Like, how did we get here? I
Mhm.
don't know if you know the answer, but just in case.
I think it's that going back to my lovely woman I was with yesterday, that and she wasn't afraid. It's not wasn't afraid, but I do think we have the fear of it. A theoretic sort of like fear of letting go. What if we let go to death? What if we surrender to the fact that we're impermanent blips in this life? And what if we
Yeah.
surrender to our grief? What will that mean? And
Mm.
this like very left brain like control. We need to know and we need to control and it needs to make sense. And there's no real sense to be made of grief. It's not linear to be made of death, the dying process. It's like circuitous and mysterious. It's like more related with the serpent and the feminine and the cyclical nature of things, which we've done a really good job of like suppressing, like
Totally.
hammer down on that, you know, not allow.
Totally.
Hmm.
Totally. What do you think people can or could potentially receive from looking at their own
Hmm.
encroaching death?
Hmm.
Like, what would be the benefit? I
And
think I know, but just in case.
yeah, I mean, anything from like practical, you think about your death, you get your affairs in order, there's that. That it makes it easier for yourself and your loved ones. There's that part. And there's you assign your healthcare proxy and you do your will and for peace of mind. And then you make a plan. You start to like, what do I want? What do I want when I'm actively dying? Who do I want there? Do I want music? Who do I not want there? What do I want? How do I want people to behave? Do I want quiet? Do I want all of these smells, scents, photographs? Do I want to be wheeled outside? It's not a guarantee that that's the way it's
Mm.
going to look, but it does give you some sense of agency, a little,
Mhm.
in this
Mhm.
like very mysterious portal.
Yeah.
And then really like ultimately what I feel contemplating death, being present for death, gives me glimpses into my natural state and it awakens me. It's like an agent of awakening to the sacred, to the ineffable. And that's really like, that's my secret. For me, that's what I'm doing. That's the diamond in the center of what I'm doing in my work, in my life, but also of my offerings too. And what I hope will be gleaned through my presence and guidance and holding. And yeah, I want that for myself. I want that for everyone.
Yeah. It's really beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it goes back to the to what it is, which is like we cannot be fully alive unless we look death in the face,
Mhm.
right? Memento mori. This used to be like this used to be part of the culture. This used to be part of being a person,
Yeah.
was that you knew you were going to die,
Mhm. Yeah.
and it made you understand something about your life.
Totally. Totally. And when it's exiled, we forget and then we behave like insane maniacs.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And I know for me also there's something we've talked about this before, but I'm a little bit like the Bardo Tudor, which is a book that one reads to someone as they pass and then after they pass for 49 days, which basically describes everything that's going to happen to you,
Mhm.
all the different phases and things. I have had so many experiences when I've read this book, and it's just weird. Like you said, there's just like things in life sometimes just come to you. And I'm like,
Mhm.
how have I read this book so many times to so many people? Like it just it's like there were many years that it was like once a year at least. But there is this moment where you realize that it makes something spacious. It's
Yeah.
like death is here, it's coming, it's inevitable, it's part of it, and it's like it I don't know, there's like an in-breath that comes with it. It's like it's spacious also.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think it is. It's such a beautiful, terrible thing to contemplate. And I also at some moment would have said I'm not afraid of death. I don't think I would say that anymore. Now that it's looming. Now
Uh-huh.
that it's like now that it's in the vicinity,
Wait, yeah.
Like when I was in my 30s, I was like, I can die at any moment. I don't even care. Now it's like I can't even handle like what's going on with my face. So let's see how I do.
Yeah.
But I think it is such a worthy contemplation, It's
Yeah.
such a worthy contemplation. And it like rounds out your life. I feel like it takes this flat line and it makes it like this whole it makes something whole that was just a fragment, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. That's a good way to put it.
And yeah, there's so much more that I could ask and could say, but I also want to respect your time and the little bit of sunlight that's left. I can see it's like it actually looks like the sun is like in my window. Um, But I do want to give a little teaser because Jennifer and I were talking about having Jennifer come back and give a little class on how to prepare for your death. So now that we understand why it's important
Mhm.
to kind of take the burden off your poor family members and to take some of that autonomy back into yourself and to use this as a contemplation to round out your experience of being alive. Can you say something about what we might do, what we might talk about, what we might line up in
Yeah.
this next meeting?
I mean, what I would love to do is, and I think it's been so valuable for me, is like a little short death meditation that people
Mm,
enter into because it informs so much, and then we can dialogue back and forth, and it's like a diagnostic, and yeah, and then
yeah,
I give some very practical things you can do. There's really great resources,
yeah.
ways you can speak to your family, and even create, within your communities, like little circles where you're talking about this, like you're sharing in your communities so you can
Mhm.
support one another because we're all dying. And that's really like it's yeah, yeah.
I studied once with this amazing Buddhist nun named Rabina Kutin, and I would one day she'll be on the podcast. That would be the most amazing thing. And she said like 50,000 times, we spent like 10 days together. She, more living people die every day than dying people every day. And it's like, it's so true,
Yeah,
right? Like the
yeah,
people that die every day are not dying people. Some of them are, but
yeah.
for the most part, they're not. And so we don't know. Like, I mean, you want to talk about a mystery.
We don't know. Yeah, we really don't know. Yeah.
That
And
would be amazing. I
yeah,
would love to have you come and, we do a little meditation, we do a little contemplation, we ask some questions. And I think this meeting was the perfect setup for that so people can understand why, because otherwise it's like, hey, let's go contemplate our death and then make a will. People are like, get out of my face. Like, I don't want to do that. But I think it's such an amazing service to offer,
yeah.
Like, "Hey, let's think about this. Let's talk about this."
Well, and it's so rich to be
It
able to
is.
do this. People are just like, when you're ready, and you want
Mm,
to talk about it.
mhm.
Then we need one another to
Yeah,
bounce this stuff off of. So yeah, for sure.
totally.
Hmm.
I love it. I
Yay,
love it.
yay.
Thank you so much for being here, Jen. It was a really beautiful it was a really beautiful offering. I'm really grateful to you for sharing so much of your heart and for taking your time and giving us your energy and yeah,
Yeah,
and I'm looking forward to the next one also.
yeah. Thank you, Laura. Thank you. It was really, really a pleasure. It's my favorite place to share from. It takes me a second, but the invitation to be real is that's everything. Thank you.
All right, love. Thank you, thank you, thank
Thank
you.